Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bensalem Township Council meeting. This is the Bensalem Township proposed budget by the mayor for year 2024. Today's date is December 4th, 2023. I'd like to ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent meditation or prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to move on to agenda item number 2. We have this is to review and discuss the consideration of the adoption of the 2024 budget. I'd like to introduce, first on the agenda would be our Director of Public Safety, William McVeigh. We have the support of the police department officers that are here, just because we all work together as a team. So if you'd be kind enough, gentlemen, standing in the back, I'd like you to stand behind or with the director also. So come on up here, guys.
Okay.
He's putting you on the spot.
Come on up. It just took Lieutenant Shum a little bit to sit down with his belt. He couldn't fit, so. And he's very in shape. Come on, Lieutenant. Come over. That's all right.
Don't forget.
And the director's budget can be found on page 11.
And our fire officers, if you want to come over as well. Your budget's
right.
next, so.
What's Lauren's last name? Lauren, what's Lauren's last name? What's Lauren's last name? I'll let it go. All right, we have Director of Public Safety. Would you like to make a brief presentation as to what we're doing in 2024?
Yes, thank you, Council.
Look how close they get to you, Bill.
They're a little nervous. They're wondering if they're going to have to get up and speak, I think, now. Council President, Council, Mayor, our administration, and the residents who are here and who are watching, thank you for having me here tonight to present on our 2024 proposed budget for police and fire, which will be next. But before I do so, I just wanted to take a minute to thank the men and women who are standing behind me who wanted to be here tonight. They do a tremendous job for our township day and night. Police, fire, our EMS, and we're only able to be as good as we are because of the commitment that the mayor, his administration, and our council have given us and have shown towards us, and the support you give us every day. And of particular note, you support our people the most, and we keep them funded and we keep them safe, but you also support all the technologies and the training that are critical in 2023 and in 2024 and years to come to keep our residents safe. So on behalf of everyone standing here with me and those who couldn't make it, I'd just like to say thank you for all the support over the years. And you have the budget for next year in front of you. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have and hopefully clarify anything that you may need to clarify before you make your decisions.
And his budget can be found on page 11.
All right, we have page 11. We all had the opportunity to review this together in an executive meeting to review all the numbers, the presentation of personnel. We have one more police officer being hired in 2024, as I understand.
That is correct.
And so I'm going to ask if there's any questions from our council members regarding the public safety, the police part of the budget at this time.
Bill, I would just clarify that, but with one additional hire, you feel that your police force is at full staff and you know, continue to do the outstanding job they're doing in our community?
Absolutely, and this one additional officer specific to need is our vice unit, our narcotics, that does the work that we really don't like to have to do, but we do here, and it enables us to keep our patrol unit fully staffed. It's been the first time in some years that we have the adequate number, 15 officers and supervisors on a daily basis on each squad, so we don't have to pull from that. We can add the officer through this without pulling from our patrol division.
Okay, great.
I have a question, and you may not be able to answer this, Mr. Chakowski. The largest increase I really see overall is I know that there's a normal salary increase that most corporations, nonprofit, government entities have, especially in these times where everything's getting so expensive for all of us. The pension seems to be the largest increase, and health insurance, which I understand health insurance, it goes along with that. But the pension, can you explain that at all?
Sure. So the
So
way
the public
they,
understands, and I understand a little bit more?
Sure. The way that the pensions are calculated is, it's always based on the year-end market evaluation. So the year-end market evaluation for 2022 affects our 2024 valuation for our municipal contribution into the pension plan. The pension plans are split up between two separate pension plans, the uniform, which is the police officers, and then the non-uniform, which is all the other township personnel. Unfortunately, at the end of 2022, the market was in a downturn, so as such, the valuations tend to not turn out as well. There is state funding that is offset, that's provided for the pension plans. This year, we received $1.6 million in 2023. We always receive at least that, if not more, in the following years. It's all based on credits of the participants within the pension plan. So even though it's $6 million, there's a 1.6 offset. So that's the way that pensions are calculated.
And your operating expenses are pretty much on target as compared to the prior year, and you have vehicle repurchases or new purchases for vehicles already budgeted in there?
Yes, we have 7 vehicles slated for next year. We also did what we did the previous year because there's been a 25% increase in markup in vehicle purchases. We were able to save this past year and allocate some of that for vehicles to get at 2023 rate so we can get them in and get them on the street as quick as possible. So we pretty much level funded almost everything in the operating budget and made some decreases where we could.
I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate everything all you guys do. I know that I feel safe in our town. I know you can't guarantee it, but you do your best that you can, and you put your lives on the line for all of us every day. So you guys definitely need what you have to get what you need in order to keep us all safe, including yourselves.
Well, thank you very much, and they all appreciate those comments.
There is an additional increase in salary based on contracts and based on the negotiations in the past. So that's something that we certainly are aware of. The police department is not a fun-making department in Bensalem Township, and so we're aware of that. But there is, according to what I see, is an increase in that part of your budget.
There was, due to the collective bargaining agreements between the union and administration and arbitration, that is something contractually that the township is obligated to handle at this time.
Okay. Anyone else, or any other questions at this time?
Can I ask one more question?
Sure you can.
Thank you. The bus stop camera,
Yes.
has that decreased? Have we seen a improvement in the number of cars?
We have, the number is alarming. It's over 7,100 violations in just over a year's period. But we have seen a 27% decrease when we compared the first portion of it compared to the second portion, I believe in 6-month increments. So it has curbed driver behavior, and that was the goal of this, is to curb that behavior and educate people. So far it has been consistent with that decrease, so we're hoping it holds there. I'm sure when summer comes again and the new school year, it's going to spike again, but hopefully the projection is over time will remain to keep that number decreased.
And when do we expect to have the red light cameras in at nights in Route 1?
I was hoping it was done already, but we were told possibly by year's end, if not first quarter of next year.
Okay. Does that conclude your presentation at this time?
That does, Mr. President.
Okay, we'll reserve the right to bring it back up if there's any additional questions, but this time we're going to excuse you from the podium, and we're going to bring up our Director of Public Works.
Do you want to cover
I'm
fire
sorry.
first?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to do fire?
Do you want to do fire?
Well, okay.
Or
I
no?
can.
Page
all right.
12 is fire.
Okay. Since you're here. Okay, any questions regarding the Public Safety Fire Department? We're hiring additional people. We have a safer grant that we applied for that we're not sure if we're getting. We're not sure if we're hiring those people. Is that correct? But is it our intention to hire additional fire?
Yes, you are correct. Thank you again for the support from council. And I know some of our fire representatives are here as well, and thank you for that. We have not received word yet on that, but once, if it did come in, we would formulate a plan as to how we would sustain that over the years after the funding. But our intention would be, once council approved, hopefully to hire the additional 4 firefighters.
Do we know when we're going to hear back on whether we've been approved or not on that grant?
I don't believe it'll be till the latter part of 2024. They're not even submitted yet. They didn't open it yet. So as soon as it opens, we'll put it in, but I don't believe it will be till the mid to late 2024.
Thank you.
But we are budgeted for an increase of approximately 1/3 of the salary budget from previous projected years. Is that correct?
No, we didn't budget for any of the new potential firefighters. If we find out that we were awarded that grant, we'll then present a plan to council as part of the adoption, if you choose to adopt the grant award at that point. So right now, the current staffing level is the same. There is a new position for a fire chief and an administrative assistant.
Okay, well, then explain this to me, Batman. $647,000, $617 projected for the month of this month in the year 2023.
Yes.
The 2024 budget is budgeted at $985,200.
Correct.
That's about 1/3, is it not?
Yeah. So 2 things happened. We've had, when the firefighters hired, there's step increments to get them to top salary. So I think almost everyone will be reaching top level next year, as well as you have the new position for the fire chief in there and another administrative assistant, as well as just a contractual increase that was negotiated.
Okay, so you answered my question relative to the SAFER grant, but my question was that the budget is going to be increased for salaries by approximately 1/3 based
Yeah,
on
that's correct.
contractual agreements. in place.
Contractual agreements,
So we're
correct.
saying the same
As well as
thing.
the 2 new positions.
Okay. Okay, we got that.
And Bill, if we received the grant, it's 3 years that they would pay their salary for 3 years?
I believe it's 4 years.
Oh, it's 4 years, yeah.
That was
Okay.
my assumption when we put it in, when we were talking about it, a 4-year grant, full funded. And obviously, if we receive it in '24, the goal would be to hire it for '25. So it's not like we're just going to hire them immediately. We have to go through a process. So I'm hoping we have advance notice so that for 2025, I can present here that we want to expand by 4.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm bringing those increases up salary-wise, not in a bad way, but in a good way, because that's what we are concerned about, making sure that we have the protection for the public. So if we're skimping on something or saving on something, we're certainly not doing it when it comes to public safety of the residents of Bensalem. So we know that, and we're thankful that this is what the mayor is proposing to us, and we're all in agreement with going that route, because that's the number 1 priority for all of us up here, as well as you, of course.
We greatly appreciate that.
Certainly a priority, but it's also something that we have to do in order to remain competitive and get the best people here. So, again, we appreciate all that you do to keep us safe every day, and thank you for your presentation.
I also, real quick, I just want to, the SAFER grant too is a full 4-year for salary and benefits as well. So that grant would pay for both salaries and benefits for the officers as well, or the firefighters as well.
That could diminish the projected 2024 budget for the salaries, is what you're saying. Is that correct?
No, so the
No.
2024 budget is for the existing staff personnel, plus the new fire chief and the administrative assistant.
Gotcha.
So if we get awarded the grant next year, you're probably looking 2025 is by the time the hiring process and everything like that happens. But there should be theoretically no impact because you'll have the grant revenue offsetting the salary and benefit package.
Understand.
2029.
Yeah, 29 would be the year that it would impact the township.
If, we don't know that, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I have a question. Would we be able to sort of pre-plan budget? What if we get the SAFER grant, it's approved, could we incrementally increase the budget based on a 2029 projection in order to kind of soften the blow with the hiring? No, we wouldn't be
No,
able
because
to?
the Safer Grant will want you to hire all 4 at once because it's
Right.
only for that time frame. So you maximize the grant itself. So you would hire all 4 people in 2025 timeframe, and then so that you're having those 4 individuals hired during the entire grant process.
Right, but in 2029, we'd have to then adjust the whole budget in order
Correct.
to
Yes.
accommodate those
Yes.
positions.
Technically, you don't have to, we may want to at that
Well-
point. But I think that we would have to see how things are going at that point. I mean, hopefully, I mean, not hopefully, but I mean, I'm assuming that they would assimilate and that we would have that need would be there to keep them on.
Right.
But if it's not, then we wouldn't have, we're not obligated.
We would certainly evaluate it on
Yeah.
a yearly basis as we do now, but my belief would be they would prove their worthiness and how much it's helping public safety with the township.
Right,
But you're
right.
right, we would have to evaluate that continuously to make that decision.
Yeah, and as John had just said, it's going to offset itself. Expenses versus salary. You're going to have the salary expense, and then you're going to have the revenue from the grant. So it's going to be money in, money out. So we need to budget, it would be budgeted accordingly. But then in 2029, it's a long way away, and a lot of things could be happening at that time. We may need more people, and we may have more grants coming our way.
Yes.
And you know that, so
Yes.
that's that far in advance. But right now, we're acting on what we can do to be where we want to be.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Okay.
Again, thank you, council, thank you, mayor, and thank you, the administration.
Thank you.
All right, the next budget that we'll be handling is the Public Works budget. And that can be found on page 14.
So we have 14.
Yes,
We
14.
have Director Tim Schultz,
Director
here he is,
Tim
right in front of us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of council. Good evening, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to start off by saying, Bensalem Township Public Works, we are ready for winter. We have plenty of salt in stock, and all our trucks are ready to go. Another question is going to be asked shortly, so I get it out of the way. If I could answer any questions for you, ladies and gentlemen, I'd be happy to.
Tim, to
Stace?
continue on the theme there about the snow, I'm assuming that because we have the storage facilities that we have now, that you pre-stocked the salt or brought it at a
Yeah,
competitive rate?
We're still at last year's rate as well because, well, we barely used any. If I told you, ladies and gentlemen, last year, we also rented a salt conveyor last year to stock our salt dome. So say typically our salt domes hold 1,300 tons. I got like 1,600 tons in renting this conveyor.
Okay.
So we have more salt in this township probably than we ever had before.
Okay,
We
good.
also utilize the PennDOT yard with 600 tons, and we also have a couple hundred tons at firefighters field for an emergency.
Okay,
So
great.
we're plenty of salt.
Okay, good.
Pepper? Okay, any other questions?
I had a question. I know you had purchased some new equipment last year, so how we doing now? I mean, did you make
Yeah,
that
and-
purchase
and
go through?
thank you, council, too.
I forget what the exact equipment was, but I know there was a big piece of equipment that we paid for.
Yeah, 2 years ago was our aerial track lift for tree work, which we got, we don't use a tree contractor anymore. Everything's in-house.
Yeah, good.
And the more equipment you guys allow us to get, we're doing more and more in-house constantly. So it's nice, we have the manpower, we have the equipment to do the proper job. So thank you guys again.
Okay, great.
The question I have is relative to the salaries also. In 2023 and 2024 budget, they're very similar to each other, but yet the projected budget for 2023 is somewhat less than what's going to be projected in 2024. Do we have new employees, or
Yeah.
what do we have?
So the department's actually has 2 open positions within the budget that Tim hasn't felt the need to hire yet. But it was previously allocated positions, and they're still open, which is why you see an under-budget performance for 2023. But if he was to hire and have a full complement, you're looking at what 2024 and 2023 reflected. As well as he also had some higher seniority employees retire, so he does have more junior employees, which they're at, again, step process throughout the union contract for salaries, and they're at a lower pay scale than the seniors were.
So are you looking to hire?
Just let me add something to that, on that line, Mr. President.
Sure.
We had a director, and then we had under the director, which he was hired to do.
An
We never
assistant.
hired anyone to fill his position that he had before.
A deputy.
He's doing
And
two
a deputy,
jobs.
But he has run the department so well, and I mean that seriously.
Thank you, sir.
Him running it now without having someone under him, I mean, he has plenty of people under him, but I mean, as a deputy director, so a lot of kudos to that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
So your intention is to hire 2 employees, is that correct?
At least one. The mayor gave us, we had permission last year. We had 4 new guys last year, but to be honest, it was a little overwhelming because the CDL laws changed, and it's quite difficult to obtain a CDL now. So yes, it's not like it was before. There's a lot more involved because of the federal government got involved with it. So I was a little overwhelmed trying to get the 4 guys their CDL, so I wanted to hold off on the 5th guy. And perhaps this winter we will look into it.
Okay. So you're ready to go. You have the facilities and the ability from us, and you have to make that decision.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay.
So I have 2 questions. Snow removal? Yes. And hydrant service?
Sure.
Yeah.
So snow removal, sorry, do you want me?
Go ahead.
I don't want to step on your parade. Snow removal, what we did is on page, and we're going to be jumping around with Tim's budget a little bit, and I apologize for that. On page 26 is the state highway aid fund, which is our liquid fuels allotment. As part of liquid fuels, snow removal is an allowable expense. So to make up for the hydrant increase, which it went from $375,000 to $600,000, that's just based on Aqua's increases on the hydrants that we owned, or that we own and maintain. So what we did was we took to reduce the impact to general fund, we allocated more snow removal in the state highway aid. So that went from $600,000 to $900,000 next year. So that's where the snow removal went for 2024. We reallocated the funds.
Under winter maintenance?
Sorry?
Just checking.
Yeah,
Winter maintenance,
correct,
thank you.
yes.
Jinx.
And winter maintenance will pay for the plowing the salt itself, as well as if we have to hire any of the contractors to go into the townhouse, cul-de-sacs and townhouse area. That will come out of that as well.
And we're supposed to have not a very great winter, correct? Is that
No.
part of the prediction?
It's going to be perfect, a balmy 70 all
I
winter
hope so.
long.
Okay. That's what I think. He's like looking at me like, shut up. And then fire hydrant service.
Yes.
So Aqua is killing us even at the
Yeah,
township level?
last year, we projected on Aqua's not word, but a 20% increase. It was a 40% increase last year.
And what do they charge us for related to hydrants? Just water?
So they don't charge us water, they actually charge per hydrant fee. And it's some are monthly, some are quarterly. It depends on the age of the hydrant. The ones the township owned prior to selling water and sewer, they're on a quarterly basis. Newer hydrants on a monthly basis. So they actually charge you a per hydrant fee. It's not the water usage, it's just the fee of the hydrant. Correct, they maintain them.
Thank you.
Well, they should.
They're charging us enough money.
Yeah, we should be able to take summer, spring bathing things out with these hydrants. All right, any other questions?
If you're good with general fund, I'm going to ask you to move to page 22 while Tim's up here. That's the road machinery fund. So the road machinery fund is a allocation from our real estate taxes. And in here is where we can purchase vehicles and equipment for public works. So there's about 6 pieces of equipment that we're going to be purchasing next year out of this fund.
To do,
Oh, I'm sorry?
to do. What will they do?
There's an increase of $200,000 in the major equipment purchase.
The 6 pieces of equipment.
We're doing more and more blacktop now than we have in the past, so we're getting a new roller. Our other roller is a little undersized to do the proper job, so we're getting a bigger roller. And you need a trailer with a roller. Our older bucket truck is in dire need of replacement. It is a 1998 GMC, and we're having problems with the safety bucket on it. That's kind of a big deal. The chassis and engine and trans are showing a lot of wear. So we'd like to replace our old bucket truck with a new bucket truck, and our current bucket truck will be our backup. We like keeping 2 bucket trucks, just the way the storms come, tornadoes, everything else, so we like being ready for that as well.
Snowstorms over tornadoes.
Yes. We're also replacing our facilities manager's maintenance truck. We're getting a attachment for the backhoe. It's a tilt attachment. Backhoes go up and down. This is going to go side to side. It's kind of a game changer for jobs. We're also purchasing a mid-sized loader, which will help in our tree company because we're having trouble accessing a lot of the township spots that are very tight with space. So this is a small loader, but we can get the logs out. Otherwise, the guys are cutting the logs very small and have to use manpower to get them out. So we have a piece of equipment to do that. We also will utilize that loader in the wintertime as well. It can do plowing. It can also load salt. So it'll be used all year long. And then we're just asking for another trailer for our basin crew. Our trailer we have now is a little bit underweight for what we're doing, so we want to upgrade our trailer.
Sounds like all good stuff.
Absolutely.
Good investment in the township and providing service.
You can't get more years out of a 1998 vehicle?
We did well. That was one of the last ones. We did well with
God, I'll
that.
be like 90.
And every
30
truck we
years.
purchase, also, I don't know if you guys know this, every truck at Public Works is a plow truck. It's Brian Guay does an excellent job with our equipment, and every truck you see at Public Works does have a plow and can plow if need be.
All we need is the CDL licenses.
I have a quick question. So did you say that we work with people to get them trained on CDL, or we're looking to hire them already licensed?
No, it's the job market's tough with CDLs because they're in such high demand, and so we will train the employee to get a CDL.
Okay.
So they'll come in with a regular Class C license, and we work when we get their CDL.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, unless you have something else to add, unless you have additional questions.
Mr.
Dave?
President, I just wanted to commend Tim and his crews. They've done a tremendous job. He's got a special tree crew. They've saved the township a ton of money as opposed to using a private contractor. And when they do the work, they do nice work. It's not shoddy. They don't, it's very clean. And he's trained them to be safe when they're out there. And again, Tim, you be commended for starting that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smorey.
Yeah, that's good words coming from the second in command, Bill Samori. 2 things. Number 1, he's interested in the dollars and cents of what you're doing, and he certainly is interested in making sure you do the quality work that you are providing for us. And we all know that. Actually, we all do know that, that there's a considerable change, and we know that your men and women are proud of what they do and how they do it for
They
us.
do. They all do an excellent job, and they take pride in their work as well.
And Tim was raised in the Cornwall section of Bensalem, so he knows he's raised right.
I get the lower end shout out.
You didn't
Thank
hang
Mr.
around with
Bowles.
him, I hope. You didn't hang around with him at any time in your life, I hope. All right. All right, then we're going to excuse you from the podium at this time. If we need to call you back, we will, but I think we're in good shape.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
And then we're going to move on to the next agenda item, or the next...
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
before he leaves,
Sorry.
on a very sad note, Brian Guay, who works down there, all of you know him, he's our main mechanic, a very valued employee. His brother passed away this week, so I know that you guys are down there knowing about that. I didn't think council knew.
No, we didn't, we don't know.
So I wanted to bring it up to make sure everybody knows, so keep him in your prayers.
Our sympathy goes to you and your family, and your brother, of course.
Brian.
Brian's brother, yeah, Brian's.
Thank you, guys.
All right, next up is building and planning. I'm sorry, next up is Parks and Rec. Sorry, I almost tried to skip over you. Kyle
Would you like to
Pennypacker,
talk about this?
Yeah.
Stuff?
Yes.
and his budget can be found on page 19.
Before we go to Kyle, this is one of our budgets this year that has given us the most problems with in funding. We're not able to fund his budget anymore, and I'm proposing in here, and you all have my letter that I sent to you. It's all in here, and it's $1.5 million increase that I'm asking council for, and he'll be able to explain why and everything, but I just want to say that myself, and I'm sure all of us, I'm very reluctant, obviously, to do this increase, but at the same time, extremely pleased that we're going to keep up the $300 rebate to our homeowners, so we're able to continue that. The only difference in our budget will be this increase that we're asking you, council, for all the additional parks and that we have now that we haven't had before, all the equipment, and I'll let them go through that thoroughly for you. But again, you know, we're the only community that does that with the casinos in the whole state of Pennsylvania, giving back. Almost $60 million we've given back since the casino's been here. So we're going to continue that on a good note. So I guess you can continue on his budget. Both of you can explain the urgency and why I am asking this to be put in our budget.
Before he begins, I'd like to add something to the comment you're making, Mr. Mayor. Bensalem, we have 1,600 acres of open space in,
About 14.
well, I thought it was 16, it's 14?
Yes.
Well, it's 13, now it's 14. 14, which is like 5 times the amount that's actually required for a township of our size. In addition to open space, it's just not open space, it's a myriad of different parks we have, recreational parks, from our country club to firefighters field to the community park to the first responders field that we're working on right now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is also a very important part of our council and the mayor working together, making sure that Bensalem maintains its record and its nomenclature as America's best city, America's #1 city, best city in our ranking in the magazines, where we become one of the 500 best places to live and one of the 50 best places to raise your family, et cetera, et cetera. And that's all based on everything that we do in Bensalem Township. And so that's an important part of it. The raise that Mayor is talking about is not that much. It's like, I think it's like $33 a household in its totality. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to continue what we've been doing and would like to continue to do for not only our youth, but everyone in Bensalem Township. So I just wanted to add that, though it's, and we were all reluctant when we looked at it. We talked about, as the mayor said, the possibility of cutting back on the $300 homeowners grant, which we think is presented in a way that it would be beneficial for everyone to use that money to upgrade their house in little ways that they need to do, and it's important an aspect of that. And we want to make sure that the raise was over the board, was fair to businesses as well as the residents, and so we had finally considered this to be the appropriate action if we're going to pass the budget this evening that we may possibly take. So that's what we're looking at. And with that, the floor is yours. Kyle.
Good evening, council, mayor, members of administration. As you spoke, we do have a lot of capital improvements that need to be done in our parks. So most of this increase will be going to replacing playground equipment that is considered end of life by the DCNR and upkeeping our new property, First Responders Field. We have a lot of public utilities that are going to need to be increased with our fields of lighting and water and irrigation. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer any that you may have.
Kyle, I would note that from the report that we had an executive session about this, and we were provided some of the reports and answers to some of our questions. And we have 13 playgrounds, and they're just not the big playgrounds. We're talking about, Valley Meadows and in the coves and down in Andalusia and Lincolnia Park, in our individual neighborhoods, we have 13 playgrounds that are beyond their life already.
Correct, yeah, there
over
are
20
13 that
years
are
old.
over 20 years old.
And then we have 3 or 4 that are about to get there, including Imagination Land, believe it or not.
Yes.
Which is, it seems like yesterday they just put that in, but you know, and I read in here somewhere that like a playground set, I forget which one it was, that cost $37,000, like when they were put in, is $175,000 to replace.
Yes.
So
yeah.
this is the kind of cost we're looking at, besides the acquisition of new park and open space and the soccer fields that we're getting up off of Bristol Road, at the
Correct.
Fireman's Hall. And they're going to be, you know, high, state-of-the-art, you know, well-groomed, well-taken care of
Absolutely. Yeah,
soccer
it'll be
fields.
just like Firefighters Field and all our other soccer fields that are meticulous. Everybody talks about how much they like playing on our fields, and they're going to be up to the same standard.
And then we're getting pickleball courts now, too.
Yes, that's also in the budget, yes.
There was a back and forth about that. Do you know where they're going to be located? or is that
Absolutely, yeah. So we are going to, on the existing court at Bridgewater, we will just be putting up a net, and we'll be putting lines in where there used to be an existing tennis court. There'll still be a tennis court and a basketball court there, but we are converting at Mill Creek Farms at Pintail. There is a fully fenced-in tennis court that will be turned into 3 individual pickleball courts as well. So that will be fully renovated. It has parking there. It's a much better situation to bring people and have an area to park and get out and go and utilize the new court space.
I think this is one of the reasons why we were voted one of the best places to raise a family, because especially people with young children, you know, have somewhere to take their kids and get them involved in activities and give them positive things to do. While they're, you know, it feels like you're getting something. The average taxpayer might pay $400 or $500 for the portion of their township, and they're getting $300 back. They're still getting the $300 back. And Mr. Kisselback said, this helps spread it out, the cost, by doing millage-wise. It seems like logically, well, why are we giving them money and then taking back money? You know, it seems, but the point is that Mr. Kisselback made was, by doing this by millage, then the businesses and the apartment complexes and industrial, commercial properties, they're all contributing to our park system.
Yes.
You know? All right, that's all. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we are on page 19. I don't know if you mentioned that. Okay. So that's where we are. Oh, you're on, sir. Anything else you'd like to add? Or
I mean, we covered that. I mean, it's mostly replacing playgrounds. We'd like to kind of keep a 5- and 10-year plan going and replacing at least 2 every year if we can get the funds. And that's going to be so we can at least put a dent on the oldest ones first and get everything up to standard. It's really going to help with our maintenance costs as well, because as of now, we have to check 30 properties every single week with our 3 maintenance guys. And having newer equipment is going to lessen the amount of time we have to spend at each property and replace existing parts and everything. So it should, in the long run, actually help us with time and money and maintenance costs in the future.
With the supply chain, it's hard to get these parts, I would imagine, right?
Yes, and they're extremely expensive as well to replace existing parts.
Now, the important question, when will Santa be here?
Santa will be here on Saturday, December
Okay.
9th, 5 p.m. We will have the tree lighting and the drive-through. So if anybody, we look forward to seeing all of council there, and anybody that's willing to come out, we will have a nice evening. It's supposed to be beautiful weather, so.
And if you haven't had the experience of being there, Santa is absolutely perfect when he arrives. It's magnificent. The kids love it, and bring your children and or grandchildren, because it's a great experience that they will cherish. And we love the cooperation of our fire departments and Parks and Rec
Absolutely,
department.
everybody
and
helps
everybody.
out.
It's-
We do ask if you could bring a canned good if you're coming through and doing the drive-through. We do have handouts as well, but we do collect canned goods for the people in need for the holiday season.
Okay, go ahead, ladies.
You do have a substantial increase in salaries for summer and winter rec. Do you think that you'll be able to fulfill that? I know that in the past, we've had some issues with hiring.
Yes, so we were going based off of our kids that register. So this year, everybody that registered was accepted. We didn't turn anybody away from rec. So we're seeing a slight uptick, but not anything like we did in previous years. We're just hoping that if we do increase the children, we have to keep the ratio for keeping the kids safe and for anything that's monitored by the state and federal government as well. So we can only have as many kids as we have the counselors to watch over them as well.
Understood. Do you know how many we have registered currently?
Registered for
Yeah.
the summer, registration is not open yet.
Yeah, okay.
But last year, we had approximately 120.
Okay. And in the past, we've had 300?
Yes, Yeah,
Okay.
when we stopped doing the regular schools, we were getting down to about 30 to 40 kids per satellite program. They were also half-day programs, so we were offering a full-day program only, which is going to people that actually need the daycare and can actually allow parents to go to work and provide a very, very cheap alternative to another type of camp or daycare service.
I know it because I've used it,
Yes.
and I really appreciate it, so thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And then the major equipment is just pertaining to, that line item is pertaining to the playground funding,
Yes, yeah, that's
correct?
playground
Okay.
parts, correct.
Thank you.
Kyle, I forgot to mention that also we're talking about placing lighting, not only for this year, but for next year and the year after, in the future, because some of these are getting older and older. Part of the question I had asked and I got answered back was that some of the lights, besides the lights themselves, the LED lights that need to be replaced, which are very expensive, we have poles that are made out of wood still.
Yes,
that
they are in the 5 years for sure, because they have to be checked and certified to make sure they're safe. And we need to make sure that we replace any old wooden poles. They're going to be a priority for new lighting installs.
And we'll have them, if we do this and you get this kind of increase we're talking about to your budget, you'll have the money to be able to replace those poles with proper, are they new wood poles or would you go to metal?
No, they get, our Musco lighting system that we use at all our new parks, they're a composite of between aluminum and steel with concrete bases, so they will outlast all of us when they get installed.
Okay.
I'd like to direct this one question to John, please, and that's when it comes to operating expense, and this is for my knowledge. The real estate tax refund is $8,600. What exactly is that?
Sure. So if a resident and/or a business petitions county and they're granted a real estate tax reduction, an assessment reduction, they could be entitled to a refund of the real estate tax reduction for however many years they're petitioning. So sometimes it could be a year, 2, 3 years back before the case is heard or decided on or whatever the situation is. So as I stated, Parks and Rec, when we pay our real estate taxes are divvied up. We pay $1 amount and then it's divvied up between about 5 different funds within the township. So the general fund, our street light, the volunteer fire service, the rescue squad at Parks and Rec, and then the road machinery. All of them get a portion of the real estate taxes. So when a person gets a refund, that fund that received the payment of the real estate tax also has to pay back the refund of the real estate tax.
Okay. All right, I got it. Any other questions?
I have to
Go
throw
ahead.
this out there for my Bensalem Ramblers softball girls, okay? I know that there's new technology with lighting to direct lighting. Is there any possibility of the girls' softball field having lighting at Ramblers?
We can get pricing. It has been a talk about which fields we're going to get next, and softball is one that is lacking. The directional lighting is very, very convenient. We're noticing at any new property we put in, it only lights the field.
Okay.
So being where that house is, now that we have a newer technology and it is a guided lighting system, we won't be in any neighborhood since they're so close to that property line to people's backyards.
Right.
So that would be a possibility and something that we can look into for pricing in future years. Those lighting systems, especially since there's no electric around there or anything yet, becomes very, very expensive for a brand new install. Our wooden poles are going to be easier to replace for a lower amount of money since the power's already there and we just have to put up the poles and the new LED fixtures. But we have been looking into making sure that more softball is played. We've been trying to use other fields and where Ramblers could play a night game if we needed to and try to utilize our other properties, and we absolutely work with any of our youth organizations and try to accommodate the best we can.
Well, I appreciate that comment and your understanding of the situation. I know we only have one other field that we recently attained in Bensalem for girls softball. And that is, I think, thank you to Coach Sponheimer, who helped with the Lady Bombers program at Firefighters Field.
That's a community park,
Is
Richfield
it the
Galloway.
community? Okay.
That's a Richwood Road, yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean,
That's a lit field. There's other
Right.
softball fields for girls, they're just not.
Yeah.
That was the first field that's lit at night.
right, so, but
Right.
my point is, we would have to go to Morrisville to play. We couldn't play in Bensalem. So, again, I do appreciate your comment and thoughtfulness and moving that forward if it becomes a possibility in the near future.
You're saying, make sure, you're saying you couldn't play at night, is that correct? Is that
Girls
what you're saying?
softball couldn't be played at night.
Yes.
because we didn't have lit
Right.
fields.
Especially fall softball, it's very
Until
difficult.
3 years ago. Until 2 or 3 years ago.
The other thing that, as I always state, is there are grant opportunities at times for field lighting. That is how we got the community park field lit. So we're always petitioning legislature as well as, applying for different grants to do these type of projects where it's somewhere like the community park didn't have electricity either. It was a larger cost, but through the grant and everything else, we were able to do that. So we're always exploring any avenues that we can to be able to do more through grant opportunity.
Glad to hear that. Thank you.
So I have a couple questions. First couple comments. Excited to see that we're doing replacements of parks. And how many do you plan on doing next year?
Right now,
Or
we're looking at
playgrounds,
two.
I should say, not
Two
parks.
decent-sized ones we're looking to replace.
Okay. Secondly, first responders field. I'm still not used to calling it that. I call it UGH or other names. So it's great we have something up in Trevose. I'm very excited. I'm glad that that is open space. Cannot say enough about that. Excited about utilizing 1675. I've gone there and I enjoy that part of it too. As an adult, the kids like the other part. I like that part. So excited about the goings-ons that we'll have there. So we'll be able to use that for soccer and field hockey
Yes.
in the near-term future?
Yeah, we're looking to do a unified field on the lower, so it would be field hockey, lacrosse, and soccer if needed.
Okay. And then also with this increase, so it's great we're doing all this, we have the additional costs going on with there. The offset would be, it could be houses if we didn't do this.
Yes.
So to me, that is a great investment by all of our community, both commercial and residential, to ensure that we have something wonderful for our township, especially on that side of the world. Sometimes they're a little forgotten. But also, are you looking at making any improvements with registrations for any of our programs? For people to be able to do things online. I know that's one of the things as, while I am older, I do enjoy just registering online and paying online and not having to write a check because I needed a check tonight and I forgot my checkbook. So,
Yeah, I have been looking at some options for software. It's just been later in this year, obviously, since I started in July 1st as being director. But I have looked into some options that I have going back and forth of costs and what is going to be obviously the least amount of cost for credit card processing and what works with our finance department, so we make sure we stay in all regulations. But I have been looking at some ways to it'll be easier for my department as well instead of dealing with
it'll
papers
create
and
efficiencies.
handwriting. Yes, so we are definitely looking at that, and we're looking at trying to push all of our programs. We have our winter bulletin just went out as well. So it's kind of talking what's happening this winter into January, February with our STEM programs and things that we were having going on at Community Park. So they will all be open. I don't know if that first round will be something that we can implement this in, depending on when budget goes through and such. But I definitely would like to kind of push things a little bit more digitally as I am in the digital phase more. And I do like the simplicity of it and keeping track of everything.
yes, as an accountant, I enjoy getting files to do things, to be able to get the money, and you have the money sooner, and you don't have as much, I hate to say it, return checks and bounce fees. And I guess that's, so are you looking to hire more people then over the course of besides the summer winter rec program, or you're just at your current staff level?
We
No
are
increases?
currently at our staff level. We do have the extra employee that was still in the budget we were going to hire this past year. With Chuck retiring and me taking his position, that we just hired a maintenance guy, so that actual fourth guy has not been replaced yet. It is still in the budget, and
Okay.
we are going to see how, with the new property, once first responder field's open, we will have 3 properties every morning that need to be opened, cleaned, checked on a regular basis, that's gated and locked, which is going to be a big part of our morning to kind of see how our maintenance schedule will run, and we can see how that starts with this spring and how we'll move forward from there.
And I have one more question. You just brought up a thing about gated and locked, and you brought up Mill Creek, the basketball court.
Yes.
Do the lights at all of the parks go out at a certain time? Are they all on timers?
We don't have lights at too many of the parks, but the ones that do, if they're sports fields, if they're a street pole light, they're just going to be on overnight. But
Yes,
any
I mean
sport
more the
fields-
directional, the
Yes,
field lights.
so we do have with our organizations, the new ones, they have control on an app, so we can actually set a time, a
I
cutoff
know.
time at the end. So, and then we can actually, I can monitor any schedules that are in and any issues. If we are going by and we notice that there's a problem with lighting or something is wrong, I can just shut it off from my cell phone as I'm driving by. So we do try to keep a hard cutoff time of when that is, and we have a lot better chance. I can actually look at data and see how often the lights are on, what all that metrics are, and I can see it all through the new app. And all of those parks are going to be linked together within Musco as they get installed.
So we're not wasting electricity. Actually, St.
Correct.
Ephraim's has used it at Valley Field, and it's been
Yes.
great because I can
Yes.
just get in contact if they forget.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
probably need to
And
talk
it
to
happens
you.
within a few seconds, so.
Yeah, to make sure that they get the schedule,
Yep.
so they know next year, instead of me, people text me the lights aren't
Yeah,
on.
through
Can
the
you text
athletic
somebody?
director and such like that. As long as they have the schedules inputted, they can input everything up to an hour beforehand. Even if
Okay.
they say, hey, we're practicing tonight, we have a reschedule, it can all be added, so.
So that's something great to know for people,
Yes.
that our money is being utilized very well. Thank you.
Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen?
I just wanted to ask one more question. Besides the lights for the softball field at Richelieu for the girls, they also, we upgraded the street hockey rink, right,
Yes.
with new flooring. And then also, I understand that the basketball court was also done.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
It's
was that-
beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
My son-
I got a lot of, yeah, I heard it was really nice. But is that the same surface that you put in the field hockey? Because I was involved more with the hockey.
No, it's the same company, but they're two separate surfaces. So the hockey one is a much harder surface. It's made for the wheels, so that skating, you don't have any give. Whereas in the basketball court, it actually has a little bit of give. You can notice if you bounce a basketball on the new basketball court, it's actually quieter because it doesn't have that same resonance, because it does actually have give. And we've actually had kids that said that when they actually fall on it, you can feel that it's not like the concrete or asphalt that some courts are. It actually is a little spongier and has some give to it when you're playing. So they are. It's the same company, but they're two completely different manufactured surfaces.
I doubt I'd be able to jump higher, but it has some.
You can feel it just walking on it. The first time I bounced the ball, I was shocked, like how different it is. It seems
that-
like it's a very hard.
Was
But
that placed right on top of the old court? Or
yes,
did
so
you
the
have to-
old court was resurfaced. It was filled any imperfections. The benefit of these courts is that we always have an issue with the underlayment, which costs such a fortune to redo the asphalt and the base layers, whereas in these cracks can go up to almost 6 to 8 inches before the court is even affected at all. So that's a much larger than any other option we've had for repairing surfaces before.
I know kids at PAL loved playing on it this year, so it was great.
Yeah,
And
it gives
that's
a lot
a
more
lot
longevity.
Yeah, and we also did the skate park as well with the same material. And the
the
other good thing
hockey.
about, the other great, good material, the good thing about this material is the water drains right through it, so you don't have ponding
Yeah,
issues.
there's no
so
puddles. The
it-
water can
it's very
actually
good.
lay below it in the actual surface while it's draining off, and the surface itself dries much quicker than an asphalt or any material will as well.
Love the efficiencies and creativity, Kyle. Thank you.
Doing our best.
I
Thank
mean, it's been a very short time that you've stepped up and taken this on, but job well done.
Thank you. Yes, good point. The amphitheater, our season passes are going on sale this Wednesday. So we do have a very good lineup. We have some returning, we have some new ones, and it's going to be another really, really good summer this year for our Penn Community Bank Amphitheater.
Any other questions? I hear some chitter chatter over here.
I was chat.
Do you have any questions, Al?
No, I'm good.
I do. I would have come back. I grew up in Bensalem. I like it here. I wanted to. It's a good place to end up, and I was a part of this community. I was in the summer rec program in the 90s when I was growing up, so now to come full circle and be able to be a part of it and help shape it and move it into the next phase, I'm very excited.
Good.
I think we have a lot of good things
And
coming.
when do you start hiring for summer rec?
We will January. We start
January.
bringing out send out our packets to all our college students so we can kind of get them in. We'd like to get them back before spring break, because we know it is a lot of college kids that do it. So we'd like to get new people interviewed while they're home, hopefully in the springtime. So we want all those packets done as soon as possible.
And
So
for
if
those
anybody's
16,
interested, you're
16,
absolutely-
17-year-olds that
Yes.
don't want to work on weekends or work at night?
Yep, we're
I
Monday
did
through
it. It was a
Thursday.
great job.
Just during the day. Yep. We'll give you a great reference as well.
They had, they
You
had.
want to start? You said we want
I
to do
did
it?
it already. I have a picture of me in my summer rec shirt. I
So
found
you
it
have
the other day.
experience, and you hire her, right?
Yeah, when I was 10, which is a long time ago, but at 10, 12 years old, we used to go to recreation at Ann Lucia School.
Oh, yeah.
It was a school there where, the school, Ann Lucia School, and I think Jack Klebe was in the Hall of Fame for quarterbacking at Bensalem High School.
Welcome
And Coach
to
Jaworski in
Bensalem.
college. He was there, ran the program for Ann Lucia, and every school had a different and we went bowling, we went to St. Francis to swim, we did everything. We've had great activities all summer long, and it's continuing.
You swam at St. Francis? You swam at St. Francis?
Yeah.
I did too,
I know you did, I
but
know.
Outside.
our big thing, the fields we had and played in were cornfields. We didn't have any, there wasn't a field in Bensalem recreation when I
Yeah.
was growing up.
They probably
Thinking
weren't
of-
as green and
Except St.
irrigated.
Francis. St. Francis had a football field.
As I recall, Mayor Joe took on Corn Pop also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we have to say,
All right,
all
let's
these
wrap it
fields
up,
were
guys.
possible
Let's
because
move on to
of the
something
mayor,
else.
council, you have funded parks
You
and
can see the
recreation to make
interest
this
we have
much
in our
better.
Parks and Rec for our children and our families in
Yes.
Bensalem. It's quite unique what we do and how we do it. We appreciate everything that you do, and I never thought that I would ever see a department exceed time in the budget presentation over the police department.
They want to make my first one memorable.
Can I come back in?
No,
Yeah.
I don't want to go back up. I just wanted to say thank you to Kyle and his staff, because the programs, we have almost 1,000 kids in Pale, and whether it be football, hockey, basketball, it's all in your facilities. Him and his staff do a great job getting it correct for us. So on behalf of the police department, thank you for what you and your staff do. They should get just as much credit as police, so great job.
We're glad we
Okay.
can help all of the youth programs in the township, so.
Okay, I want to move on from there, and if there are no other questions, if that's okay with the council? Okay, moving on to
Thank you.
Director of Building and Planning, Ken Farrell, is here, and he's going to be on page 13, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
So we have that? All right, Ken?
Good evening, members of council, mayor.
Okay, that's enough time, you used up the time earlier on.
Thank you for letting me present the budget. It's hard to believe that this is my 5th budget.
It is.
Time flies when you're having fun. If there's any questions, I can answer. I do.
We have the same amount of employees from 2024 as we do in 2023?
Yes, we are fully staffed, which is the first time since I've been here this year. We're fully staffed, so, which makes a big dent in our workload, and things are more efficient and getting out much quicker because we're fully staffed.
What's the average wait time now for a normal kind of permit? I know that we had some issues a few years ago.
Yeah,
We haven't really
generally,
talked
when permits come into Permit Center, we're getting them out to the reviewers in less than a week, and then we're getting them back from the reviewers in less than 2 weeks. So potentially in 2 to 3 weeks, permits are being issued, which is, much greater time than we weren't fully staffed, which was taking, well over 30 days to get permits out. So, and again, depending on the permit, if it's a fence permit or quick permits, we do those first, so they're going out almost immediately.
It still sounds like, to me, it sounds like a long time, doing some construction myself. I know it's probably not, but I know when I want to pour concrete, if I'm waiting to do that, or I have to do electrical work and I'm waiting for someone to come out.
Yeah, but you keep in mind is depending on a permit, you have building, you have electrical, you have mechanical, you have a lot of eyes that take a look at.
Right, sure, I understand. I'm not saying you're not doing a great job. I'm just saying it's a tough nut that you have to contend with.
That's a tough department.
Yeah. Have we looked into any technology options to make the process smoother for the resident
Well,
or developer or?
just before I came here, we invested the time and the money in the Municipal program that we're currently using. Right now, we're in the process of doing an upgrade to that, which is going to be more of a Windows-based, which is going to be a little bit easier. It's a very difficult process when some places, when people submit permits, they check all the boxes and they submit it electronically into the system. The problem with that is they don't always get the right information in the system correctly. And that takes a lot of time to have to go back in and fix it. Better off with the system we have where it goes electronically into the permit center. We pull that out and then we physically put it in the Unilogic program. And what that does is we put it in correctly the first time, so we don't have to fool with it or manage it, and it goes right out to the review.
So what your team is doing is picking up the phone and communicating with people in order to kind of sort out whatever those inconsistencies are, or how does that work?
For habitual ones that constantly get it wrong, yes, we do.
Okay.
But again, a lot of these are mom and pops that are doing a sketch on the back of a napkin and submitting it that way. And-
Right.
And, I mean, again, we still accept it, we still take it, but it's a lot more efficient for us. That way, if we are missing something, we can call them, ask them for the piece of information we're missing, so we can get it in the system.
And do people get notice once it gets into the system, or if you have to make changes or anything like that?
They get notice when it goes in the system, and then if they need something, they're notified by a staff member, and then they're notified when the permit's ready to be picked up and how much the permit fee is. But if they have everything correct, they're notified 2 times, once when it's in, once when, with the amount of the permit.
I would just make a comment that similarly to other departments' salaries, health insurance, and pension, we see an increase in. That's pretty standard across the board in all areas here. But I don't really see any huge asks outside of legal services, which is, it's not really huge, but it is something that's a little
Right.
bit, stands out a little bit. Any difference in what we're spending there, or?
No, I mean, we have a standard, we have an attorney's meeting every month because we do have certain things. And even though we file in court, we don't always use the attorney if we don't need to. But we do have some cases, some of the truck parking cases that have now been appealed 2 times up in Doylestown. We do need attorneys for those bigger cases and all that, and that's a representation of that.
Thank you.
And Ken, because you're involved in that stuff hands-on sometimes, you do have an office manager now that handles things that you didn't have in the past?
That is correct.
Someone can look over the people who are actually working the phones for you? And
That is correct. Noemi was elevated to office manager, which she's, with the day-to-day operations out there, the administrative stuff that procedural stuff with permits and stuff like that, she handles that, which then allows me for the bigger stuff, the zoning hearing board, the planning commission stuff that I have to administer. It gives me opportunity to do that.
No new employees for 2024.
No new employees. We're fully staffed currently.
Okay, any other questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Nope.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next up will be our country club, Jim Bogan, page 20 and 21 of the budget.
Mayor, Mr. President, council, and residents of Bensalem Township, I'm here to present the 2024 budget for the country club. Special thank you to John Chakowski and my manager, Kelly Newhouse, for helping with the numbers. Are there any questions?
Were you golfing today?
Yes. We're going to go. Yes. We're going to golf through the winter.
I'll get out there.
To do what?
The guy who's right alongside of you, he'll give you every tip you don't want to know.
Jim, I did want to say that you're doing a great job, in my opinion. The atmosphere there is great. We have the Bensalem Golf Association, which is relatively cheap to join. You have a lot of tournaments. You get a gift back at the end of the year. You get a banquet. A lot of local residents are involved from all different age groups. They have ladies group down there. They have a program for the kids.
Quite a few programs for the kids.
Yeah, quite a few programs for the kids. And then I just happened to see on the local golf channel for the Association of Golf, a thing on Johnny C.
Yes.
And the work he's done with the veterans. He got an award, a Patriots Award, which was a national
Yes,
award.
national award for
Yep.
our section.
And they did a local story on it with the, what's it called, the Pennsylvania Golf Association, or
Yeah.
that did the film.
Yes.
And it was on cable TV, and it was Johnny C. working with vets, and Bensalem Country Club in the background, our signs, our atmosphere. They could see that started mainly, the main gist of that started at Bensalem.
Yes.
Taking care of our
Yeah.
vets.
He's the spearhead for the veterans, especially the disabled veterans, and it's become quite a large group. And it's mainly because Johnny had the foresight and the ability and the drive to do it. An amazing man, Johnny
Yep.
C.
Yeah, it was a great thing. I
Johnny
was thinking,
Carpinetta.
yep, did a great job. And the film they did on that little piece
Yeah.
is really good.
Yeah, it's run through our national, too, down
Good
in,
musician, too.
Yeah, they had him playing music. They had him playing songs on it, too.
Yeah.
He's making up songs about the veterans and all.
if you had a piano here, he'd play it for you.
It was really good, really
And
good.
sing.
Yep.
Now, do we have, what kind of children's program do we have there still? Do we have
We have First Tee, we have
We have
our
First Tee
in-house.
still, right? Yeah,
Yes,
wanna make
yes,
sure.
we have a series of clinics through First Tee of Greater Philadelphia. We
Right.
host this as one of our sites. We also do a lot of in-house junior programs,
Yep.
and we're encouraging the elderly adults to join in different groups.
I didn't know we had First Tee there. I did
Yes.
not know that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
been-
run throughout the
They've been
entire
there for a while, Ed.
summer?
Matter of fact, the Bader Foundation, we donate to that group, and we give them a good-sized sum, and that's one of the reasons they're there.
Is that throughout the whole summer?
In increments, yeah.
Okay,
They'll
all
go.
right. I was not aware of
And
that.
where can you find information about all these programs?
You'll just get onto the site or call into the pro shop, and we can direct you into where you want to go, especially with what you're looking for specifically,
Okay.
you know.
My daughter's golfing at Nazareth, so I know
It's a
she
great
comes and
sport.
uses the driving range
Yeah.
and
Yeah, we had
everything.
Nazareth. with
You did
the,
this year, you had them
yes.
doing the putting and the
Yeah,
driving, so
with
thank
the,
you.
driving range.
Yes, thank you. So-
All right. Knowlesy, have any other questions?
No, I'm good.
You're the golf
I try.
extraordinaire here, you know?
Yeah, I do once in a while, yeah.
All right.
All right, we're happy with the township in acquiring that facility, as you know, where it could have been, as Stacy had just earlier talked about, a soccer field, that could have been, with 130 acres, I guess, of townhouses or whatever it was approved for, and we ended up buying it for $4.5 million, and the courts made us pay $12.5 million for it.
We saved a lot of open space.
But we saved it because that's what we were
And,
interested in doing.
that's unique. Just-
I do have to say something. I was there probably about a month ago to see the arming or the armoring of the creek bed and how that looks great. It's
Yeah.
very, it's
Yeah.
nice to see,
Yeah.
which I know comes in with stormwater management, the money we have going
Yes, it
there.
has.
But, knowing that part of the township, those cricks, it both affects the golf course
Oh, yes.
and then behind it. So
And
since it
behind.
goes right into
And
the
in front
blessing.
of it. Yeah, yeah.
So everything flowing through there, if that gets clogged up, it just creates a clog behind it. So it's nice to see all the work that's being done there, and it's very interesting, and love the new bridges that were put in, that were made to look gold.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting, and the
There's
house
a lot
looks
of good
amazing.
things happening over at the club.
There's a lot of great
All
things
you got to do is
hap-
drive in the driveway and look up to
Yes,
to
the house looks amazing, if nobody's seen it.
Beautiful.
You can see it from Humeville Road now, with the
great.
trees being empty. So it's looking really
Yeah.
good. So it's very exciting to see this investment in our township.
And also, on a good note, I can tell you that we're running way out in front with revenue this year. We always project conservatively on our revenues, but generally, we're above, and we're doing very well this year.
And you are accepting requests for what trees should be taken off of the fairways, please?
You need the right trees for stormwater management to soak up the water so the fairways don't become
Well,
puddles.
we have some great help with
Jim, that tree on the 8th hole in front of the tee, when you put it back, it's not fair to lefties, really, you know what I mean? It's really unfair. It's halfway falling down anyway, I mean, I
Yeah,
think
that's going.
Oh, is it going? Yeah,
Yes.
gee, it ought to
Matter of
go.
fact, they're going to be working on it. Our Public Works helps us out, so kudos to Kim and the group of guys there.
At least cut it back, you know, a little bit, you know? I think you have to protect that house or something, might have to replant or
That's what
something.
God's about, challenges.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Jim, we're going to
Challenging
continue your
enough of it.
conversation with this on the country club itself, the banquet facilities and country club. Can you elaborate on what's happening there, please?
Well, the banquet facilities?
Yes.
Okay, John can help me out, but all I can say is we've been in a search and find to find a new manager, and I think we've got a very good one coming in, young and has a lot of good ideas. John can feed in a little
Yeah,
bit more.
so we did hire a new banquet manager. She started last Monday. And she's baptism by fire in December with a lot of events. So she was very busy over the weekend, which is a good sign for the club itself. She has a lot of good ideas as far as social media presence, as far as advertising, as far as everything. So once she gets past the December season, she's going to start implementing a lot of things. The current revenue projections are based on current bookings. But obviously, her goal and our goal as a township and Jim is to increase the bookings, even if it's a funeral, if it's a party, if it's a whatever. So that is the drive to beat that number next year if possible.
And can you elaborate on we talked about the house, the mansion, how that's going to be utilized in a business type of way?
Sure. So the mansion, as anyone who's been over the club, you saw major renovations to the outside of it. We had to repair it. It was in dire need. It's a landmark that we didn't want to lose. So this year we did a lot of maintenance and repair to the outside, as well as the appearance around it. You can actually see it now from many areas within the club, outside the club, and everything like that. We are doubling the size of the patio that's in the front of the house, I call it. Maybe it's the back of the house. To accommodate weddings as well as maybe cocktail hours, stuff like that. We're also looking to renovate the inside next year to have both catering as well as daily restaurant, if you will, on the inside as well, utilizing both the first floor and the second floor of the mansion. So big things on the way for next year, and hopefully it'll pay back tenfold when it's all said and done.
The mayor's sitting there quietly. I know he would like to comment on that because that's his love that he's doing right now. So, Joe, you want to say something about what's happening there?
It's my second dream. My first dream was the riverfront, and kind of a nightmare there. So we're working very hard on I saw the mansion falling apart. You know, we saved Grouden Mansion. That was something we saved up there. Can't quite utilize that. That's historical. This is also historical, but we could utilize this to bring in income. It fits into the whole program of the golf course.
Absolutely.
Plus now we have the catering hall, and we'll have this. You ladies probably know more about weddings than I do. They tell me that the new way they do things, people actually go after the wedding and the cocktail lounge. And we went out and saw a couple of these country clubs that do that, and they actually utilize that with the wedding even afterwards, before and after. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm very
Yes.
excited. I'm very excited. I think it'll be a landmark. It's a landmark in itself, but I think once we get it done and people can come enjoy it, can you sit out there and have lunch on that great patio that'll be done soon, hopefully. So it's a dream, and I think it's achievable, and we're looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a great income for the country club and the people of Bensalem.
Adding another nice destination to the map in Bensalem, right?
Yep.
We are also renovating the inside of the banquet facility as well next year. So not only we're doing the mansion, we're also renovating believe it or not, we bought the club in '06. So it needs a facelift, if you will. So we're spending some well-earned money inside the banquet facility to, again, attract more business and make it.
It'll be a first-class facility, first class.
Right, and we need that to drive the revenue, right? So it's worth the investment.
Any of you know anybody's planning a wedding or anything?
A reunion,
Yeah.
40 years.
Well, you told me, yeah, that's April.
That's
right?
April, yeah,
All right,
so it'll
well,
be
you
done
gotta-
in January,
you gotta
right?
get it done.
Is that your, 70th reunion?
No,
did
my
you say?
40th
Oh, 40th,
reunion.
okay.
I think we're booked for April. Jeez.
Actually, to John's point, the young lady who has taken over is already out there on social media posting about, looking for help to, help the people that are there and to grow. So,
And in all honesty, without the help of the mayor and all, another year or so, that would have been a wrecking ball, that house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
that
Jim,
close.
also,
looks great.
talking about wrecking balls, we removed them as garages were
Yeah.
close to being dangerous.
Yeah.
And, they're out of there now.
Yeah.
And then the landscaping that we did at the mansion.
And it's still not
and
done.
With the metal roof that was put on, that's going to
Beautiful.
last
It really is.
forever. It's just stunning.
It's awestruck.
Very
It is.
stunning from the outside. So I think when the patio's extended, it's really a beautiful building. If anybody wants to drive by and just look at the outside even, they really did a great job.
Well, thank you for
All
your
right.
support.
Got it,
and,
John?
We'll continue to move on. Okay.
Jim, thank you so much for
Okay, Mr.
your hanging in and hanging in. Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to conclude this part with our finance manager. That would be you, John.
That is me.
If you want to just generalize.
Can I stay here?
What's happening, I'm sorry.
Sure, I was going to say, can I stay here? Yeah, so if you turn
sure.
to page 23 is our capital improvement fund. That's where a bulk of our expenses occur. We, in 2022, we were provided federal funding through the American Rescue Plan Act to be able to do infrastructure repairs to the township's stormwater systems. So we have allocated about $8 million worth of improvements for next year that will be contracted in 2024 to be completed no later than 2026. Some will be completed within a couple weeks. Some may take a little longer depending on the type of situation. We've evaluated a number of spots within the township and we'll be doing repairs to the infrastructure. In some cases, we might actually be installing new infrastructure, but that is a bulk of the expense in that fund. We also, as you guys are aware, First Responders Field was awarded a $1 million Local Share Act grant that is being utilized to install a turf field that Kyle was speaking to at First Responders. That project and the renovations of that area will be approximately $2.6 million. So we have a lot of projects for next year that we're going to be doing, and it'll better the township.
I'd like to elaborate on that for a moment, and this is for all our residents in Bensalem. We've mentioned this to you several times throughout the year, that stormwater management is something that we, the mayor, the administration, and the council have been discussing for quite some time. 2024, as well as 2023, we are now spending approximately 12% of our budget is going towards stormwater management. Now, we're spending that money because it has to be done, and Bensalem has to be the location, and we happen to be located between the Delaware River, the Bequesing, and the Neshaminy. So we're like almost a triangle of water and more water, and it's such that the landscape we have is, a lot of our places, especially in Eddington, the soil just doesn't perk. It's clay. So we have to, we're very much concerned about, we're aware of it, and we're taking action on it and moving on that, being proactive on this. And so we'll be discussing that in the future as what we're doing with the stormwater management, because it will be something that we will be bringing forth to you as we decide where we're going and where we'd like to go, but we are moving on that. And that's 12% of the budget. That's a big hunk on one particular item.
Sure. And then obviously, we also have that ongoing unfunded mandate from the federal government on reducing sediment, monitoring our outfalls of our water systems. You're supposed to protect downstream. So we have about $80,000 budgeted for next year for the monitoring and the testing of to reduce sediment basically hitting the Delaware River. The unfortunate fact is we're at the lower end of Bucks, so upper end of Bucks needs to do their part as well. But that is something that we are continually obligated and continually funding and monitoring in the coming years.
So I just want to point out that a few weeks ago, the mayor had a group come out at the amphitheater to talk about that exact point and what you can do as a homeowner. And I'm actually going to work with the Conservation District on my own. I'm going to ask them to help me put a rain garden in for my property because Mrs. Davis knows exactly where I live. I'm at the bottom of a hill. I'm 41 feet below Bensalem Boulevard, so all the water comes and hits my house and then hits her son's house after that.
And any resident,
So,
and any resident that wasn't able to attend that seminar from the Bucks County Conservation District, you can certainly call Karen at the Bucks County Conservation District, and they will help any resident in any which way and preserve, stop the drop is what they call it.
And
And collect the rainwater if you're having flooding issues on your property.
And that's where I learned that grass is not as good of a percolator as, say, trees and/or natural gardens to get the water to be absorbed, because turf, nothing against the golf course, because it is all grass. But that's why we need some other trees there to soak it up. But I've noticed in my own property, having taken down some trees, that, so.
The conservation actually has been awarded a grant to do work on the country club. So on the stream banks, they're going to be doing work on the stream banks to basically put the correct plantings to stop the waters from hitting the streams, to try and slow the water from hitting the streams.
Right.
That come off the golf course. So.
And I did, as I was saying, I did get a tour, and I could see how the banks were being pulled down now that they're putting the armor up. Literally, it's giant rocks, like, they're so huge, to help the water go through to get to the Pequessing, because again, as that backs up, it backs up under Street Road, then backs up and backs up and backs up.
Correct.
Because we know that a lot of water goes there and then over to the other creek that goes underneath Bensalem Boulevard.
Correct.
So it's great in terms of, it's a first step, as some of the other projects we have going on that are first steps, because we know there's a lot of water in Bensalem.
Great.
Yeah, John, I just wanted to mention and kind of add to President Kisselback's points. I noticed when I'm scanning through here, you do have Eddington, Cornwell's Basin, there's, I think Woodbine Avenue, we're doing one that's adjacent to the golf course, a retention project there for the water going down there. But there's also, past Glome Boulevard, there's Belmont Hills, there's Grandview Drive, there's Glendale Drive, there's, so it's all over the township, and we have 2 creeks and a river, you know what I mean? Stormwater management, and we saw what happened to the condominium development in Andalusia, but, George White got, devastated. So this is an important thing, but where are we at with the stormwater management, storm retention project that involved the golf course and Unionville Road and Woodbine Avenue across the street?
It's ready.
Yep, so that is actually getting in conversation with contractors right now for a December, January start to be completed by March, so we won't impact the golf course. We're doing it in the winter months. Hopefully there's no white stuff because Tim's going to put the dome up. But yeah, if we can, the contractors will do all the work on the golf course when the course is basically closed, and then it'll work its way down Humenville Road to the Village Green Basin down that end of the area. So it'll stop a lot of the water sheeting off of the country club itself onto Humenville Road and basically pipe it down, as well as there's going to be different types of basins installed onto the bio basins installed onto the club itself that will retain the water or slow the water from actually exiting.
And what stage are we at with, I guess it's the Cornwell's Basin that's behind Cornwell School, basically?
That's all.
So I know that a lot of the streets were done and curbing and drains and stuff. So where are we at with that? Is that functioning now?
Oh, yeah, knock wood, we don't hear from any of those residents that were blessed with that project, if you will. The basin's working great. The storm sewers in that section that were added are working great. The streets are not flooding anymore or anything like that. We always look at, the second phase of Eddington, which is something we like to do down the road, but we do with what we can with where we can.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
I have one more question since you brought up the basin, but it doesn't have to do with the basin. Since we took down a lot of the trees Or is there anything that's going to be going up along Humble Road for balls?
So we cannot, and Jim, I'm going to look at you and I'm going to say it, and if I'm wrong, please feel free to stand up. We can't put a net up because of the winds. We're told the directional winds of the golf course will actually shred the netting if we were to put it up there. Trees, the cart path's right on the road, the trees are right on the road. Tree roots create an issue. But we are looking at different avenues, the administration and Jim, to try and slow the exiting.
Well, I think that,
Golf balls.
I think, on a serious note, I think the main one that's the problem is hole 11 on the corner there.
That is the one.
And that's the one, and we have a project in the works to move that green to the right, and then they're moving the tee box on 18. And it's hard to understand, but that, the tee box, I mean, the green's gonna be way to the right, so the golfers won't be going straight along Unionville Road with their shots, and that's the one that goes on the Unionville Road a lot. I think 12 is protected somewhat because you're kind of at an angle going right, at least you should be. And then there's a lot of trees in there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of trees in there, so you don't get that as much. Where it's dangerous, gets dangerous, is right at 11, and they just go right to the left and right into the street. So, and that's being addressed because they're getting a new green
That
in.
hole is almost $200,000.
Yeah, just to move the hole.
So we had to get more green fees.
And the tee box at 18 has to be
Yeah,
moved
keep coming.
over in order to make room for the new hole, but then you'll be
We've
in a
been
totally
looking at
different,
it.
yeah, totally
No, I know.
different.
Actually,
It's fine.
and I don't mean to correct the mayor, but the
You're correcting me?
sorry.
not
About
good at all.
4 years ago, we had.
Meeting's over.
About 4 years, we looked at it, it was $200,000. It's now $600,000, just the price of
Yeah.
labor and everything like that. So we
Well,
are,
that's a good correction. I'm okay with that.
we are continually looking to evaluate how we could do it, maybe internally or something like that. But that is the ultimate goal of redirecting hole 11 and rearranging the tee boxes. But
Not for nothing, but he's the finance guy. He didn't tell me that. You know what I mean? Not for nothing. How you feel now?
I'll take that blame.
Okay. John, I'm proud of you.
I
All
may
right,
not be
we're
here
going to move
tomorrow, but
on.
thanks.
Basically, I want to go to public comment at this point. Is there anyone, first of all, is there any comments any council members would like to make regarding the general view of the budget? If they would like to, I mean, you're certainly welcome to say something later, but at this point, you're certainly welcome to add to the comments that have been made.
Just want to thank everybody for their great hard work and leadership, answering all of our questions, everything that you're doing to make Bensalem the best town there is. We're up against Philadelphia, and when you cross that border, you know it. And that's because of you guys and the people that work every day to make our township great. So thank you for all that you do.
Okay, and now go to Councilman Knowles. Would you like to add something at this time?
Yeah, I would like to, I think that we have excellent department heads, besides the actual staff that they have working for them also, but we have excellent department heads, and we have a lot of confidence in the people that the mayor's put in place to handle these departments. And there's been some transition in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years that, you know, everybody was like, well, we had this person, now what are we going to do? And we've been able to put people in there at Public Works, in Finance, in our Director of Public Safety, that have, you know, really stepped to the plate. And now Kyle at Recreation. And so they really stepped to the plate, and we got good
Tim
people.
Schultz, too, Public Works, he's
Yeah, I
2
said
years.
that,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's Timmy,
I
yeah.
don't want to forget my Ramblers dad.
No, but it's really been, and Ken down at zoning too. He's not new still, but he was new 5 years ago. But but all those people all those people have transitioned in the last 5 years and really are doing a great job.
Okay. Stacy would like to add something?
So I want to thank everybody for all your hard work. I know there was a lot of questions. I appreciate it. I like numbers. It's one of the things that I do enjoy. It's logical. I'm a logical person. At times I can be emotional, but I am logical first and foremost. I know that $33 is $33, but I think what we're getting is some amazing improvements to our parks. First Responders Field has been saved. Nothing is free. We all have to do our part. If you're looking for a job, don't forget to reach out to our juniors and seniors. Reach out to Parks and Recs for the summer, and just make sure you get out and enjoy everything we have here. As we continue to make these improvements, and I think the mayor might say, it attracts businesses. The more we look like we're a first-class city, as we always try to do, it'll attract the right businesses here, not just any business. Redevelopment, yes, that's what I meant by businesses, and redevelopment, and this way we can continue to grow for all of our future families of Bensalem. So I appreciate the time of everybody, and appreciate everybody's hard work. Thank you.
Okay, I guess we're concluding what we're saying, so I'm going to add a few things. First, I would like to add that we mentioned this earlier. On Saturday, we do have the tree lighting, 5 o'clock, and when I say 5 o'clock, it's exactly at 5 o'clock. So if you're going to be here with your kids, make sure you get there at least no later than 4:45 to see Santa arrive, and I think it's really wonderful. It really is a great thing, and so I'd like you to be here for that. Also, on the same day, the police department is having their toy drive, and I think I'm assuming it's at the Texas Roadhouse, as it always has been. And time is it from 12?
I think it's 11:30 to 1.
11:30 to 1, and you're asking to bring a gift for the children, and then there's a fee for the buffet, is that correct?
Yes, $10.
Yeah, very, very minimal thing, but it's a good afternoon. More importantly, stop over and say hi to some of our police officers and our firefighters, and it's, again, just bringing the holiday spirit into Bensalem. To all our Jewish friends and family, we want to wish them the best in terms of the Hanukkah is coming up. I don't think we have a meeting prior to that, so I just want to make sure I mention that. I'm not sure, but I think that's the case.
Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, so we're so all our Jewish friends, and especially what they're enduring at this point, we wish them the best for their families, and hopefully things will be as they should be for all of our residents of Bensalem regarding that. When it came to the one aspect that we really haven't mentioned a heck of a lot, Stacy just mentioned it a second ago, we really did struggle with this 1.5 mils raising of the real estate taxes, because I haven't done it since I've been on council for 28 years. The mayor hasn't done it for 30 years, and Joe hasn't done it for, I guess, 18 years, I guess it would be, something like that, 16 years. So we've never raised taxes before when it came to the real estate. But it was an investment that we looked at very, very seriously and had to consider the consequences. And it was something, if we didn't do it this year, the deficit would increase more so the following year and the following year, and the presentation that we have to our children would decrease, and we wouldn't become, as we are, one of the best cities and townships in America. We would just be just another place to hang your hat. And so it was something that we really struggled with. We looked at different alternatives and either cutting back and or going a different source for revenue and looking at the budget and things. So it was something that we didn't take lightly, and believe me, we haven't. And to a certain extent, we're all disappointed we had to do it. But in reality, if you look what's happening out there, we're in bad times. I mean, inflation is killing us. It is what it is, and the salaries are negotiated well in advance in terms of where they should be, and we find it important to maintain the personnel that we have because we are Bensalem Township. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Stacy had just mentioned a second ago, $33 a year. It's not that bad when you look at what else could be happening. So it's really not that bad. But again, we weren't happy about it, but it was the only thing. We came to the conclusion amongst the five of us, and of course the mayor, well, when we decided that, and it was a matter of just deciding that we believe this is the best alternative for Bensalem Township and will be the best solution to where we want to be in 2024. I want to bring that up for everyone to understand.
And Mr. President, if you don't mind, you brought something up that I want to mention. Also, you know, in the beginning, when we were talking about 1.5 mils, it was easy to say, well, we're giving back $300 to each homeowner. In the beginning, my first instinct was, well, why are we charging them for Parks and Rec when we're giving them 300 hours? Why don't we just take 50 hours out of that? But the thing is, it was pointed out to me, which was a good point, that the 300 hours only goes to homeowners. It only goes to homeowners. The 1.5 mil is spread out from between homeowners and businesses and apartments and commercial, so it's shared amongst all people. So, and people need the 300 hours back, so you're getting 300 hours back. And I just confirmed looking at the books and with the mayor also, that the low-income seniors still have the availability to apply for additional grant on top of the 300. So if your taxes for your township, if you live especially if you live in an older neighborhood in Bensalem, or $400 or $500, you're getting 300 hours back automatically. And then if you are a low-income senior, that you can apply for additional money. So we thought it was fairer to do it this way as opposed to just cutting that grant out.
You also qualify if you're a disabled individual. You may not have to be you don't have to be a senior, but if you're on Social Security disability and you're low income that way, you can qualify for the additional 150 as well.
Thanks, John. That's a good point. Thank you. That's all. Thanks, Ed.
Okay. At this point, any public comment, would anyone like to come forward and comment on the proposed 2024 budget? Not seeing anyone come forward, I'm going to close that point, and I'm going to ask for a motion to be put on the floor regarding the mayor's budget for 2024.
I'll make a motion that we approve the budget as presented by the mayor with the additional funds available to Parks and Recreation for $1.5 million and continuing the $300 rebate grant program to our homeowners.
All right, we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
We do have a second on the motion. Any additional discussion on the motion? Not hearing any. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Any against? Any abstentions? And that is a 4-0 vote. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for everyone who came out to see what we're doing in Bensalem. We appreciate that. And at this point,
Ed, can I?
I'd like the mayor, sure.
Is that
Mr.
okay?
Mayor? Yeah, because we all had an opportunity to say something, and we used that time, so please do.
Oh, okay. Finally, my message is online for anybody who wants to read the entire message. I think it's worth reading. It tells the story. As you all said, reluctantly to put on this tax. The Parks and Rec is a separate entity from the general fund, so it's something that if we can raise just for that, and we would not be able to go on the way we are or proceed to increase the things that Parks and Rec needs to do. So, number one, I thank you. We're a team. We're in it together to make sure that we get all these things done. All of our directors out there, I can't thank them enough. I think you can see that we have a team that is working together with all of us, getting things done in here in the township. I am so proud, so proud. My 30th year here. By the way, when we started these budgets, I did all these budgets by myself in those days, and certainly in 30 years, the increases and the things that have come along have dramatically changed. And to Bill, and certainly our friend over here does an incredible job there. We don't do this in one day. We don't do this. We meet every Wednesday morning. Our staff meeting every Wednesday. And we have what we call the lunch bunch on Thursday. We meet again with our attorneys and our engineers and work on this stuff on a daily basis. You just can't get it done and think that you're going to. I don't play golf, by the way, Joe.
I hardly play.
You hardly play, right? Anyway, and it takes an absolute team effort. Everyone working. There's a lady sitting out there, Dawn Davis, who takes my wrath every day. Has to listen to an old Italian guy that gets angry at different things, not at her, but at what goes on. And we work hard at this, guys. We really do. And I'm so appreciative of a council that works together to get these things done in Bensalem Township. This is an incredible community. You have to see what's going on here. People all over see what Bensalem's doing. The police, there is none better. Our fire is coming along now. We're going to have a fire chief. Our EMS, unbelievable. They do more than what's done here. They're helping all over the place. They need help. Our police department, they are second to none. And it makes you so proud just to be part of that team that's out there working to make Bensalem safe. You know absolutely that comes first. The safety comes first to every one of us. And make sure that we protect everybody, our kids, with Parks and Rec now, to try to get more programs, to try to do more things for the youth now. It's so important. I mean, we have a senior center that drives me crazy, but we do everything we can there to help our seniors. So, again, Bill, thank you. And he's good on computers, this kid, you know? He does a great job for us, guys. We're all proud. Every one of these parts that makes this wheel go around is because people doing their job. And it's our job to make sure that we're doing our job. And I just can't be prouder of everybody here. So people in Bensalem, you have a lot to be proud of. And I hope you realize that. And again, reluctantly, and I know council, to raise a tax is so difficult in these times. I wish all of you know what's going on with inflation in your own homes. You can see it, what's going on. We are getting that hit. Everything we do here in Bensalem Township, and every one of our departments is getting hit. Like, you can't believe it. And I think we've done a heck of a job to keep everything else down. And, you know, I've done it before. When we got in trouble, we laid off people. I don't want to have to do that. We have a great team now, and I want to keep it in place that they can do their job. So thank you all of our directors. I can't thank council enough. I can't. You guys are a big part of this Bensalem team. You make it tick. And to all of you, all of council, I really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas, and we start our new year off right. So God bless all of you. Thank you to the people of Bensalem. Thank you for being patient with us. Thanks for all the volunteers that work here in Bensalem. And again, to all of our great directors that are running and our administration. So thank you, and God bless you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the sincere comments. We appreciate it. Oh. Okay, at this time, I'm going to conclude the meeting by saying, good night, Gracie.